This right here is a $2,500 camera monitor. And here's what I hate about it. All right, first some of the advantages of this monitor. First of all, I really like the size, 7 inches, great. It's ideal for slightly larger productions. If you are, a run and gun style filmmaker and you don't work on set, but do little documentaries and stuff like that, you might be happier with a 5-inch monitor, because 7 inches, as you see, is fairly large when you just have a little Rokinon lens on it. But when you do work on bigger sets and have the camera rigged out a lot more than it is right now, 7 inches really gives you a lot more control over your image. The next thing is color accuracy. You're really able to tell, what is overexposed, what's underexposed, how do the colors look like, how do the skin tones look like. But here comes the little but. You have to get your own custom LUT on this monitor to actually get the most out of it. Right out of the box, this monitor's LUTs are, I don't know, they're not vibrant. The colors are dull. The contrast ratio is bad. So if you really want to get the most out of it, get your own LUT and actually apply some digital sharpening as well. Because the problem with all the internal LUTs, the pre-installed LUTs, they don't have any digital sharpening, which means that you always think your shot is out of focus, which sucks. So make sure you get yourself a good LUT on there that has some digital sharpening, and that way you're able to tell if something's actually in focus or not. The next thing is the custom buttons that you have, and that is awesome. You're able to put all sorts of, false colors, zebras, LUT deactivation, white balance, I think, is one of my buttons. And they also are shaped a little differently. So just by touching them, you're able to tell which button is which. So that's smart. So obviously this is a RED monitor, so it is made for the ecosystem, and that's awesome. You can really dig into the menu and do all sorts of settings on here. It just really works seamlessly. The next big pro is the cable, which in a second I'm going to tell you why this is the worst thing they could have done. Let me also tell you why it's a great thing. So first, it's a short little cable that just goes right here into the camera. Look how clean this is. This is power supply. This is video supply. It's data going back into the camera. This handles everything, and that is amazing. And that also still leaves you with an open SDI port, because this camera just has one. So if you need a director's monitor, perfect. But why is this cable a bad thing now? Well, maybe because this cable costs you $100 to replace, and it's super flimsy. It feels like every time you pull it out, it's probably going to break. And then look how beat up it already is, just by normal, careful using it. This is not gonna last too long. And then I will have to buy another $100 cable, and it obviously only works with this cable, so that sucks. And already diving down into the cons of this monitor, the next one is right here. It's the mount itself. A $2,500 monitor, and this is the best you guys came up with at RED? Seriously? You have to really get the tension right, but with a tool, because although they made this knob, to be accessible or, twistable with your fingers, well, not if you really want to tighten it to where it doesn't just fall down all the time. Because if you just use your fingers, it's definitely just going to tilt down all the time. So you need to use the tool. And then you just over tighten it all the time. And that's not even the worst thing about this monitor mount. It's just the way of getting this monitor mount on the monitor. The screw is kind of like, can't even see it. It's in here. All right, I have to say though, that is, I think, all the cons I've had. I mean, I did have the monitor freeze a couple times on me, but that's not too bad. It was resolvable by just unplugging the cable and plugging it in back. I do have one more con related to the monitor, but not really part of the monitor, and that is simply this where to put your cable, the monitor cable, right? This one. And if I'm wrong, please tell me in the comments. I would love for me to be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the only place where you can plug it in is this USB-C port in here, in this adapter thing that you have on here. You cannot plug it into this USB-C port on the same adapter, or this USB-C port on the same adapter, or this USB-C port on the cable, on the camera itself. So why do I have so many USB-C ports? What are they even good for if I cannot use my monitor off those USB-C ports? All right, other than that, this is still a great monitor. Is this monitor worth $2,500? Or actually here in Germany, it's I think about 3,500 euros, which converted back to dollars is about $4,000. So is this monitor worth the money? I mean, you can get a 100-inch flat screen for the same price. Well, I think it all boils down on how are you using it? How are you using your camera? I mean, when you buy a RED, you're probably already a pro. You do what you do full time, you earn money that way. This makes your life a lot more convenient. Being able to have this clean setup and quick to use, no weird connecting, I don't know, via Bluetooth or something if you want, a operatable monitor. You do have the SDI cable. That is invaluable on a bigger set. Having an SDI port that's free for your director's monitor. So for us, totally worth it. Let me know what you think. Have a great day. God bless.